A little action from the middle of the match, chosen by AI, provided by PB Vision. See the link to match stats in the description. We are watching today a match from the first round of 2025 APP Vlasic Classic Daytona Beach Tournament Champions Men's Pro Doubles, bracket also known as Senior Pro. This is Mark Napartovich speaking, just using AI voice to avoid your suffering from listening heavy Russian accent. I will commentate the game focusing on who is doing what and why, in my opinion of course. Please let me know in the comments if you like the format. I need to know if I should continue doing this. Also like and subscribe if you do like it. I'll call myself by name. On the camera side we have Paul Caruso on the right and Stephen Jones on the left. On the far side, Bryan Lafferman serves first. Mark Napartovich is on the left. From the first two rallies we see that Bryan shifts to the centre, a bit too much, opening the line. Probably because he used to play with a slower player. Mark returns serve with heavy slice, and Paul immediately drives it, which is very smart. You want that spin to work for you, and it is always a good idea to drive unusual returns at start. Then Mark did reckless speed up, but they got lucky as the ball hit Steve. By the way, this illustrates why you should wear eye protection. I should say that still being extra aggressive at the beginning of the game makes sense as it puts additional pressure on the opponent. While Bryan demonstrates his incredible athletic abilities resetting down the line shot, I ask you to pay attention to Mark's dink. It looks high and slow, but it kicks forward with topspin forcing pop-up. As both Mark and Bryan have pretty fast hands, the risk of attack off the bounce is well controlled. They want that to happen. Here is a good example of why not to dink in front of you, unless you feel very aggressive and have fast hands. Heavy topspin drop is actually an offensive element, as it causes pop-ups especially if your opponent hit it flat. Mark uses 15mm extra elongated double black diamond. He always wonders why the paddle has the same name. This is a pretty intense point where Bryan and Mark demonstrate good defence skills to make opponents to give up on offence. Although reckless speed up at the end did not work well. What we like about Stephen's decision, Mark went for an Ernie, but the ball touched the net and Mark had to recover. So Stephen decided to use it while other team is out of balance. It worked. Improve your pickleball skills. Use code PIRATES for first month 10% off and free trial for Pickleball Drill's mobile app. The score is 5-1-1. Mark probably decided it was enough to try third shot lob. He often does it when on the left, an opponent returns down the line. If done properly, it goes to the opponent's backhand, causing quite some stress. But this lob was too shallow and was handled properly. What we could say about this point, well, Mark and Bryan got lucky. Paul did a good job being aggressive against a very good drop causing a pop-up. Attack from the mid-court by Bryan was just a poor decision.
No, side out.
We're talking about practice. Practice? We're talking about practice. Use the Titan Ball Machine. It's the most advanced, easy to use, simple application I've ever reviewed to date. Look in the description below. You get free shipping by using our code.
You see the same topspin dink? Looking at the high bounce, Paul decided to speed it up and paid for it. And here we go again. High arc topspin dink. You can see how Mark extended himself into the kitchen, expecting even slight pop-up. When you look at this point, wearing protective goggles seems to be a good idea. At this score, Paul and Stephen probably should have taken a timeout, but they didn't. Maybe that was a good thing for them because Mark tried to do his third shot lob trick again and failed, which probably upset Bryan. And the momentum started to shift slowly. Another bad speed-up decision, and camera side team started to pick up points. Looks like Bryan and Mark took the control back, right? Here Stephen made a nice drop volley, although we definitely would not recommend doing that often, as the shot is risky and you invite opponents to the kitchen. It worked. That was a pretty important point, as the game evened out mostly due to focus lost by the winning team. It is very important to understand if your hands are faster than opponents. If it is not the case, you should avoid speeding up from non-advantageous position. But if the ball is above the net, go ahead. This was a very solid drive from Paul, down the middle, which caused confusion, low and with topspin. Looks like Paul and Stephen decided to be more aggressive on their thirds. Was it a good decision? Let us know in the comments. Mark returned this serve with significant side spin. When your opponents start to drive really well, adding side spin to your returns can easily mess them up. Topspin drop in action again. As to me, Bryan went for too much here. It would be a beautiful shot if he made it. In pickleball you want to avoid too risky moves, even if they look pretty. If you want to win, of course. This was the moment Bryan and Mark should have taken a timeout, but they didn't. You're supposed to take time out in at least 3 cases. 1, you lost too many points in a row. 2, your opponent's got a momentum. 3, you started to make obviously bad decisions. Paul and Stephen continued to drive their thirds. Was it wise? That was an awesome shot from Stephen. Excellent anticipation and execution. He used the fact that Mark rolls all his backhands aiming the baseline and countered it from high. As the pressure of the score increased, Bryan and Mark actually started to play better.
That's where the pros go.
Remember what we said about speeding up low balls? Only do it if you think that you and your partner can defend counter shots. Here Mark decided to finish it faster and served very aggressive. Was it worth it? Bryan left the line open and got caught. Opening the line provokes your opponents on doing risky shots. Is it good or bad? Depends on how well your opponent drives. Definitely do not do it against pickleball players specialising on singles. This is the first time topspin drop did not work. Look how careful Paul was defending his position. He hit it straight to Mark's foot, causing pop-up. Nice job. Here we go again. Although this time Paul's shot was not as good, and Mark just missed put away. Another high arch topspin dink, another pop-up. And here we go. Third shot topspin drop in action to win the first game. Looks like in the second game Paul and Stephen continue to drive their thirds. Here for the first time, speed up from the net height brought the point.
Shot, bro.
The second game started pretty even. Paul and Stephen slowed down a bit, which probably helped. What do you think? Exactly the case when you did everything right. Just your opponent overruled it with his magic. Good shot, Paul. Apparently Paul has problems driving the ball with side spin on it. Oh well, he is not alone. It's interesting to see how Bryan and Mark play together. While Mark breaks the rhythm all the time, Bryan just feeds from it. Finally, Stephen caught Mark by sheer surprise by backhand attack after the ball bounced. Probably would not happen again. Bryan used third shot lob against the sun. Deep lob worked really well, pushing Stephen off the kitchen line. Stephen sped up the ball right from the net. We do not think it was a good idea. Even if Bryan was not that aggressive with counter and hit it back to where it came from, Stephen did not have enough time to get out of the kitchen. In other words, do not do it. Clearly, Mark had no luck with lobbing in this match. He usually does it better. Apparently Stephen handles side spin much better than Paul. He also hit the net edge. Good drive. Is driving third strategy starting to work? Do not think so. Again, dinking in front of you with fast hands, aggressive player is not a good idea. Paul's fourth shot roll is awesome. Why would not Mark adjust to it and wait one more shot staying back? Although Bryan missed here, he did the right thing covering for Mark, who still was behind. And here Paul and Stephen called timeout. On their own serve, leading in score. Do you understand it? Bryan and Mark probably think, good timeout. I really don't think driving all thirds works well for Paul and Stephen. Now Bryan and Mark decided to stack to switch it up and to use Mark's third shot drop.
Attention players, I need Nicole
It worked.
Jennings and Bryan Morales to the player coordinator desk, match coordinator desk, Nicole Jennings and Bryan Morales.
4-6-1.
Good stuff, bud.
Paul and Stephen probably should have taken a timeout, but they didn't.
5-6-1. Second serve. I have your score at 5.
Correct. Am I in the right spot? No. Okay. Cool.
6-5-1. Second serve. Six, 5-2. Oh, come on! Out. 5-6-1.
This is actually a valid strategy for aggressive right side player. When you get even medium height bounced ball on your forehand, you have so many variants of hard to defend shots, it's a shame not to use them. Just remember to never attack full swing, limit pace to 70% and focus on spin and placement, and aim for the middle at least 50% of the time.
Second serve. 6-6-2.
The same tops in third shot drop. Should we call it drop and bake?
Seven, 6-2.
Rinse and repeat.
Point. Eight, 6-2. Point. Nine, 6-2.
Oh no, again?
Out out. Six, 9-1.
Clearly Stephen is the net magician.
All good, Mark. Don't worry about it. Come on, stay focused. Yeah.
7-9-2-1. 7-9-1. Serve.
Sometimes you just get lucky. Or is it net karma? No, that was not karma. Look, Paul dropped the third probably for the first time. It worked very well, didn't it? By the way, who had to cover that shot? Right, Bryan had to. Respect the X. How many times Mark and Bryan won the point using this exactly the same strategy? Can you tell? I guess Mark was complaining about his decision to drive instead of dropping it again. Indeed, why? And another high arch topspin dink. Nothing new. Come on, Mark. I'll keep quiet. You know it yourself. Not returning a server is definitely a sin, especially on a match point.
If you don't have a paddle, we can help with that too. Check these out.